Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Mystic Destinies. Chapter 6, Shadows Crawl. We've made it to 60 parts. This is part 61. But I didn't realize the last part was part 60 because I hadn't marked off in my book. Like, I keep a track of, like, what part's going up on what day, and, like, I mark off when I've recorded it so I know where the hell I am. You know, especially when I'm trying to, like, record, I need to know, like, okay, I need like 3 parts for this week or 4 parts or whatever. And I hadn't like put my little dot next to part 58, so I thought my last parts were 58 and 59 as opposed to 59 and 60. So I was like, this is going to be part 60. And then I was like, wait, huh? When I went to like label them in my folder for encoding, so it's not just a bunch of random freaking files. I know that it's Mystic Destinies part whatever. And I was like, oh, so anyway. Chapter 61. I mean, part 61. Oh my god. Oh. But we're only at chapter 6, but it's like we've just played this game for so long. Anyway. Shadows Crawl. That's not as exciting as I thought it was going to be. But it's okay. I'm like, I don't know why I was expecting something slightly different. But okay. It kind of just looks like her hoodie. I mean, I know she was wearing a jacket, but it just looks like she's wearing a hoodie now. I don't know. But anyway. Takumi and I used the grappling hook again, but this time I wasn't as scared. It's still mildly terrifying, though. This time Taku did a better job of positioning us, so I was able to grab onto the ledge and pull myself up. Thank the stars and everything in existence for that. I don't ever want to be thrown like that again. I'm going to teach you at least some basic rolling techniques when we get some time, or maybe have Aurelia do it if she's around and I'm not. Jumping and rolling is much faster and safer. Right. Totally looking forward to that. Takumi suddenly pulls out his saddlebag and rummages through it for something. Finally, he pulls out a cigarette of all things. What? Do you smoke? Takumi doesn't look at me. He just puts the cigarette in his mouth and lights it to the end. He takes a drag of his cigarette before speaking. Not what you're thinking. I'd never smoke that shit. This is just medicinal stuff for supernaturals. For humans, it acts as a drug, gives you an edge, magically enhances you beyond human limits. I don't like the sound of that at all, but I can't really judge him for it. So it's like steroids, but like magical steroids. What Taku does on a regular basis is scary, and not much different from what I'm doing with my magic. I want to ask him more truthfully, but he won't even make eye contact, so I can gather he doesn't want to talk about it. Takumi soon finishes and drops the cigarette on the ground, putting it out with his boot. So what's the plan? Takumi begins to explain, his voice slightly deeper than usual. It's like he gains this persona. Becomes when he puts on his gear. Okay, so it's basically like he gets this persona on when he puts on his gear. I wonder if he realizes he's doing it. Thinking to myself like this, I realize I've missed some of what Taku said. I'm going straight to where the leader is holding a meeting, which seems to be a shitty, decrepit apartment. You know, the usual location for such scrupulous deals with men of refined tastes. We're gonna bust in there and declare our intentions. You think they'll just let us do that without attacking us? I saw how fast that vampire was last time. It's likely I'll have to hurt someone, but I won't let you get hurt, Inara. Well, not seriously hurt. If you have any other doubts, now's the time to force them away. Lock them up somewhere deep inside because doubts can get you killed. I shiver and nod slowly. Okay. It's not far, so I'll run there and you can try that spell thingy you mentioned. Is there anything I have to do for it? I nod again and hold out my hands. Give me your hands. Taku nods and places his hands in mine. I close my eyes and begin to focus on summoning my magic. Wearing this gear, I find it incredibly easy to grab hold of my power. It feels like it freely bends to my slightest whim. It's so different from before that it almost surprises me enough to make me let go. But at the last minute, I steady myself and focus my power onto Takumi. Onto the bright, brilliant light I can see even with my eyes closed. The light that is his soul. I draw power from within myself. From my own, albeit tinted in green. Light, and push a small part of myself forward. His soul reaches out to mine so eagerly that I have to again stop myself from opening my eyes in surprise. We form a link, like a thin, silvery string between us. I open my eyes and step away. There, You can go now. I'll be able to see you and should be able to hear you if you call out to me. With my voice? I shake my head. With your mind. Your soul. I may not be able to hear the exact words, but I think I should be able to feel the pull. Taku stares at me strangely for a moment, examining me. Then he nods. All right, then I'm off. Taku makes a little salute and runs off. I watch as he dashes with incredible speed and makes a running jump, using his hands to propel his legs forward and his whole body downward to a lower rooftop. I run after him toward the ledge and spot him leaping over something in his way, then speeding off to the next. I watch him in shock until he disappears out of my sight. Wow, Taku, you're so amazing. I close my eyes to use my far sight. As soon as I close my eyes, I can see him, albeit very blurry and vague, running without slowing down, making terrifying jumps. But I can see something else. 2 bright lights, so many of them everywhere. I can only assume they're souls of other people, seen through the walls of buildings as if the walls were transparent. But there's something else too. Vague shadowy things standing on some of the rooftops that I almost don't notice at first. But the moment I try to look closer, they seem to disappear. Huh. I rub my eyes, half wondering if they'll reappear, but I don't see them again. What were those? Maybe I'm just seeing things, or maybe I did something wrong? I don't know. I don't have much time to worry about it, because I feel a tug within my chest and quickly turn my focus on Takumi. The image is so blurry that it's barely there. But I can see that he's stopped and is looking around. I swallow. He's waiting for me. Okay, I can do this. Just focus on moving toward him, moving all of me and my soul toward him. I feel my body burning up again. My whole body tingles like it's fallen asleep. It feels like I can feel every cell in my body, yet my consciousness feels like it's moving far away from my body. I feel like part of me is standing on the rooftop. I recognize the feeling from the day I accidentally teleported, and it gives me enough of a hint that I'm doing it right. Another part of me is starting to get the feeling of being somewhere else entirely, with my back against a wall. I allow the sensation to take me, briefly hoping that I don't end up falling out of the sky this time. The sensation is dizzying, and I open my eyes reflexively to steady myself before I can fall over, only to realize that Takumi's broad shoulders are right in my field of vision. He's holding on to me, keeping me from suddenly crumpling to the ground. You seem kind of unsteady, but you did it. That's so cool. Yeah, I can practically see the stars in his eyes. When the dizziness passes, I notice that I don't feel half as tired as before. Maybe I'm learning to use my powers more efficiently. Or maybe it's the gear helping me. I hope so either way, because maybe that means I'll use less of my soul's power. Taku lets go of me, and I take the chance to look around as he begins to talk. Their place should be at the end of this hall. I feel bad for any of the other residents we might disturb, but there's a chance this place is nothing but shady people anyway. I doubt they'd hold meetings anywhere they might be caught by anyone else. Oh, yeah, I guess we can't be quiet. I hope there are no families here. We'll make this as quick as possible. Keep your hood up over your eyes. I'm going through the window, so be careful. What? Taku grins and rushes off so quickly that it takes me a moment to realize that I need to run after him. I start to, even though I know I have no hope of catching up to him. I almost trip from the shock as I watch Takumi literally kick a foot through a darkened window. He throws what I assume is a flash grenade, judging by the immediate flash that follows. There's screaming and yelling, and Takumi dives right into the fray, and my stomach drops in anxiety. No, Inara, gotta back him up. I swallow as I stop in front of the window and see the smoke pouring out. I made a promise. I get ready to climb through the broken glass after Taku, but the sound of a door creaking open makes me look back. I see the door to the apartment now ajar. Did Taku actually open this for me? How? Not wasting any time, I open the door and rush in. I hope it's not going to give us a choice, like, door or window, because it's like we're going to freaking pick the damn door and get, like, murdered or something. As soon as I run inside, I start to cough at the smoke. I put my hands up to my mouth and try to process everything that's happening through the sensory overload. At first, I can't see Taku at all, but as the smoke clears, I begin to understand the scene. There's a vampire with a knife in his shoulder, and another one with a shuriken in his chest. I like how they're just like all exact copies of each other. Both are angrily watching Takumi having a standoff with another one as he holds out a dagger. Wait! Wait! Everyone turns to look at me except Taku, who takes the chance to dart toward the vampire he was facing off with. With lightning speed, Taku punches him in the stomach. Then he moves behind him, and grabbing his shoulder, he forces the vampire to the ground. Taku bends down and throws an arm around his neck, forcing the vampire's head back towards his own chest. Taku puts a dagger to his throat. I look on at the scene, thoroughly impressed and bewildered all at once. Taku looks up at me with a wink, though his voice sounds rougher than before. Thanks, partner. For what? Taku looks at the other two vampires. Do you want your leader to die? In an even deeper, gruffer voice that's almost unrecognizable, he barely speaks above a whisper. Believe me, I know how to kill a vampire. Has he really killed someone before? The two vampires only go back at him while the one on the ground starts speaking to Takumi. What do you want? Who are you? Taku laughs. It's kind of scary, almost evil sound to my ears. Oh, like I would ever tell you. Honestly, though, I just want to talk. Sunio? Sunio? I'm assuming? Sunio, is it? Sunio snarls. What do you want to talk to me for? All traces of mirth disappear from Taku's eyes. You three are leading the silver dogs to kill Dabask, right? All three vampires look shocked, and Taku continues talking. I want to help. Maybe. If you give me some information. You've seen my skills, and I'm not charging you. All I want, Taku presses the dagger in deeper to the vampire leader's throat, is a tiny, worthless piece of information. The hell do you want to know, then? Azucena, did she ever have dealings with a sorceress? Did she ever have anything to do with Detective Yasuhiro Arai? Yasuhiro. Yasuhiro is obviously his brother, but why does that name sound familiar? I don't know. The vampires look at each other before the leader, still on the floor, begins to speak. If that's all you want to know, fine. But let me go first and I'll tell you. I have absolutely no reason to do that. I can always get the information from someone else. He's bluffing, I think. It's been 3 years and he hasn't found anything. Still, if this guy doesn't talk, will Taku... There's an oppressive silence in the room as Taku presses the blade even closer to Sunio's throat, and he begins to cough. Should I say something? Trust him and say nothing. I need to trust what he knows, that he knows what he's doing. Takumi's eyes dart to mine for just a moment, though I can't tell why. I get the feeling he's wondering what I'm thinking. I'm worried, but I trust you, Taku. Fine, fine. Fuck you, man. Sunio spits out some blood, but Taku barely lets up. Yeah, a few years back that bitch had some deal with some alleged sorceress. When the word got out about it, everyone freaked out. Something to do with chaos or death magic or some shit. Sent everyone running, but I was smart enough not to look into it. I knew nothing good would come out of sniffing into the boss bitch's business. And R.I.? I know she was always talking about some R.I. guy, but I was a small fry back then. You're lucky I heard this much. That's all I know, man. So you gonna help us or what? Taku remains silent for a moment before getting up and letting Sunio finally fall to the ground. He grins down at the coughing man on his knees. Maybe. If you make any real plans in this shitty little hovel, then let me know. Taku throws a piece of paper to the ground and begins to walk towards me. The other vampires glare at him. It seems like they're about to make a move, but one look from Taku and they look away instead. I see the cold look in Taku's eyes and move out of the way, but he stops and looks down at me. There's something so irresistibly sexy about the fact of, like, you're like, damn, you're so tough and scary. And then you're like, hey, I'm Takumi, and I'm totally like this normally. Like, I'm like a cheerleader, and then I'm like, he's like fucking Buffy the Vampire Slayer over here. Let's go. With that, I gladly walk out of the place, leaving the silver dogs behind. Takumi and I trudge into Aurelia's home, both exhausted. For once, we find Aurelia already home, sipping some sort of drink from a wine glass as she sits on the sofa with a book. She glances up at us as we walk in, her eyes silently following us. Takumi throws himself down on the sofa next to Aurelia and lets out the most exasperated noise I've ever heard. Ugh. He sprawls out on the sofa, somehow still managing not to get into Aurelia's personal space. I sink down into the chair opposite them and let out a little sigh of my own. Aurelia looks back down at her book as she begins to speak. Rough night? Yeah, I guess. How many? 3 vampires. Any injuries? Just some minor ones. Inara's good. What? He didn't mention anything about injuries? Want me to take care of them? Later. Taku yawns. Don't think I have any energy left to use for healing. Get anything good at least? Taku grins and leans forward. I did. Seems like these two have had this sort of exchange before. Maybe many times before. Aurelia looks at Taku out of the corner of her eye without putting down the book. She looks interested for the first time that I've ever seen. Do tell. We were able to confirm that Shizuka and Dabask had some sort of dealings with each other. Sounds like nasty stuff, though. Dark magic. That's all the guy knew, though. Anything about your brother? Yeah, the guy said that Azu was overheard mentioning him a lot. But I wasn't able to confirm the nature of their relationship. The room goes quiet as Taku looks down and Aurelia turns back to her book. Finally, she sighs and puts the book down. She puts a small hand on Taku's arm. You're doing well. You've finally made some progress. It looks like Azucena really is the missing link. So if you get to her, you'll find the truth. Though I wish it weren't her. She's incredibly dangerous. Taku sighs and stands up. Aurelia and I look at him as he does a little stretch. I know, but what can I do? I have to follow this through to the end. For Yasu and for Inara. Taku glances down at me briefly before looking away. I'm going to bed. Good night. With that, Taku leaves the room, leaving me alone with Aurelia. I think it's funny how he's like, peace out, and he's going to her bed, and it's like, but that's my bedroom, now you're taking it back? Like, I understand you took it the other day because you wanted to get some real sleep, but now all of a sudden I'm... Middle finger, bitch. Like, because Aurelia is here, so we can't just sleep in her bed. I guess what, Takumi? I'm sleeping with you. My thoughts swirl as I think of everything that happened tonight. He's right, though. We confirmed Shizuka's connection to Azucena. It's better than anything else so far. I just have to hope she can somehow lead us to her, and Yasu. Maybe finding out what happened to him could help Takumi and his parents somehow. An image of Nyoko's pained face and hushed voice flashes in my mind. I feel a wave of sadness wash over me. I sure hope so anyway. Takumi tonight, I've never seen that side of him. He was always pretty energetic, but he was also a gentle boy. What happened, really? Has he already murdered someone? Can he really stand much more of this? He seemed... I think back to Taku's crazed face back there and shudder. I don't think I'll ever forget that expression. See, this is where we're different. I'm like, yeah, I kicked some ass. It's scary, but sexy at the same time. But it's not like reality for me, obviously. It's like, it'd be like if you were watching a movie, you know? Be like, yeah, I'd be totally fine with that. But like in real life, you'd be like, nah, I'd probably be scared. I nearly jump in my seat, suddenly realizing that Aurelia is standing in front of me. I look up to see her looking down at me, a wine glass in hand. You look like you need a drink. Aurelia pushes the glass at me and I'm forced to take it. She then goes and sits down with her book again. I sigh and look into the wine. Thanks. Just got a lot on my mind. Aurelia nods, looking up at me over the book. Life isn't usually easy, but you're going through a lot right now. And I'm sure that trying to adjust to the new Takumi is difficult. Can she read my thoughts? I mean, it's probably a possibility. I don't know what abilities sylphs have. Aurelia smiles at me for the first time. She's so pretty when she smiles. It's not that you gave anything away. I've just been around for a while. It's obvious you're pretty bummed, even after your new lead. One of the things that could be about is Takumi. It's obvious that he's not the same that he was 3 years ago. He doesn't even have the same look in his eyes. His innocence is fading fast. He's been through too much. I wish I could have prevented that, but a normal life is something Takumi threw away a long time ago. This is the path he's chosen to walk. I know that this is how he needs to live in order to feel completely fulfilled. I just hope he doesn't lose himself in the harsh reality of this world. Aurelia looks up at me. But he's never stopped talking about you or thinking about you. I think you're the bright light in his life that can keep the darkness from overcoming him. I listen to Aurelia somberly and find myself tearing up. Why am I crying? I take a sip of my drink to hide it and subtly wipe my tears. I don't know why, though. Why he would feel that way about me. When I think about it now, all I've been thinking about is myself since I came back. I've never, ever been good to him. Not half as good as he's been to me. You can change that now, can't you? Your future is always left up to you. With that, Aurelia closes her book and sighs. I love the fact that they made her the protagonist in Echoes because I like Aurelia and like she's gonna be like a super interesting character to get to know, I think. I'm sure Taku will have a new plan tomorrow, so you should rest up soon. With that, she stands up and gives me a little nod before going to her bedroom. I'm left alone in the spacious living room, alone with a lot of complex feelings and thoughts, ones that I can't even begin to try to unravel. Or maybe I just don't want to. I sigh and move myself over to the couch. I'm way too tired to study tonight. I lay down and close my eyes. I barely manage half a thought before I'm already out like a light. I'm dragged out of sweet slumber by someone shaking my shoulder. Huh? I blink and rub my eyes, pushing away any remainder of sleep. I look up and see Takumi's smiling violet eyes staring into my own. Immediately, I jump and sit up. What? Where? Confused as hell, I look around before remembering that this is Aurelia's house and I'm on her couch. Oh, right. Yeah. Wow, you were sleeping like the dead. You never used to be this hard to wake up. Ugh, sorry. Guess I was just really tired from yesterday. Magic can take a lot out of you, I read. Apparently, you even slept in your gear. Anyway, get up. We're going to meet my dad for dinner. Your dad? Wow, I haven't seen him in forever. Is there any particular reason why we're going to meet him, or is it just to catch up? You're starting to catch on. Yeah, no, when I'm focused like this, I don't like to waste time playing around. We're going to meet him because I want to try and check Yasu's case files again. My dad's the only one who could possibly help me. Now that he's been promoted, he might have the power to access them. You tried before and couldn't get through? Taku nods, looking almost annoyed. Assholes had it locked down, so we didn't have the authorization. As Taku says this, he actually makes finger quotes. Oh my god! I'm just imagining that. Authorization! I can see Takumi in my head. Authorization. With like the look on his face and everything. Oh my god. Probably bullshitting us anyway. He's a chief inspector now, though. Wow. Well, I hope that comes with a big pay raise, too. I stretch and stand up. Stands up, yeah. Alright then. I'll shower. I'll shower and get dressed so we can go. As I get ready, I think about Takumi's dad. I remember he always looked like a pretty gruff guy, but he was actually always really nice to me. I'm nervous, but I'm also looking forward to seeing him again. Takumi brought to a cafe. Okay. Alright, now we're getting into, like, the typo area, because, like, we were totally good for chapters, and now it's, like, there's a lot of missing words. Only complaint with this game. It's just lots of fast typing, obviously, but anyway. Takumi brought us to a cafe in the Chawa district called Blue Sky. Somehow I half expected him to take me to some shady bar or something. Although we are meeting his dad, so this makes much more sense. I look around as we make our way to one of the empty tables. The place is unexpectedly light and airy, especially compared to the places I've been to recently. I have to admit, this is a nice change. For the first time in days, I relax as all the tension leaves my body. We sit down next to each other at one of the tables by the large windows. Now we wait. Everything about the atmosphere here is so completely different from the places we've recently been to. It's hard to not just sit back, relax, and forget yourself. No, that was me being derpy. No. Yeah, no, it is his brother, not this guy. I always think it's him, but it's not him because he doesn't have red hair. I thought it was what's his face. Because I remember seeing a guy with dark hair, but it's not. I don't think it's Emi. It's not Emi. That was in Shinji's path when we met Emi's brother. But I glance around the place, watching the many different people sitting around the cafe, enjoying their meals. That's true, but in this one we're not friends with Emi. That makes me sad. I wonder just how many people are human, if there even are any. I quickly find myself absentmindedly humming along with the song playing in the background. But I love the fact that it showed Emi and her brother, so that like we actually got to. Oh, Emi! I miss you, Emi! I want a game with Emi. I really do. My eyes meet Takumi's. Well, except for Taku, anyway. We quietly smile at each other. He opens his mouth to say something when a different voice suddenly cuts through the silence. Hi, Taku, and a girlfriend. Oh, wait, I don't know. That could be Shizaki. Yep, it is. Hi, Takumi! And a girlfriend! Takumi and I look around as a blue-haired woman walks up to her table, a knowing smile on her lips. Yeah, because I'm like, wait, his dad would know. I hate it when it doesn't tell you the name, obviously, because she doesn't know her, so she doesn't know the name, but, like, I don't know if it's a male or female's voice, so. Whatever it is that her smile tells him, it causes Takumi's face to turn bright red. I shake my head. I'm just a friend. Childhood friend, actually. Oh? Well, that's even more perfect. You two will definitely end up together then. Besides, Takumi has mentioned you before in the past. Mrs. Yukamura, please. Can we just order, please? My dad will be here soon. Suramatsu? Is that his name? Wow, I can't believe that's popped into my head, and that's Suramatsu? Yeah. Oh, Suramatsu is coming! I haven't seen him in weeks! Ever since he got that big promotion, I guess he's been too busy to come around. Yeah. Well, I'll just have to go ahead and prepare his favorite then. What drinks do you two want? Tea for me is fine, and whatever you suggest to eat. No, I'll have the same. Good choice! It seems like you two need to relax. With one last smile, Mrs. Yukamura gives us a little bow. She then turns on her heel and walks off to get our order in. Takumi sighs, drawing my eyes to him. Do you come here often? Are you trying to hit on me? Do you... Oh my god, Takumi, I love you so fucking much. That's the best. Like, you're just hanging out with your friend and you're so you come here often. Are you trying to hit on me? Taku laughs. Yeah, I do. I have ever since I started doing investigations. It's a good place to come and relax without being judged. I knew Mrs. Yukamura before Tatsuya, actually. It was her whole idea that we become roommates. Though I'm not around often enough to actually call myself that. Oh, is she related to Tatsuya then? Not only that, but she's his mother. Mother? A rough, low voice interrupts us. Hey. We look up to see Suramatsu. It's gonna take me so long to get used to these names. He's got the white hair like Takumi. He looks so young. He doesn't look old enough to be a dad. Like, her dad looks like a dad. I mean, he still looks young and handsome, but he kind of has that, like, I'm the mature businessman. But, like, this guy looks like home slice college boy with a tie on. Like, I don't know what it is about him, but... Takumi nods at his father as he takes a seat across from us. He doesn't look old enough to be his father. He looks like an older brother. His violet eyes examine me carefully, and I have to fight the urge to fidget under his intense gaze. After a few moments of silence, he finally smiles. His father doesn't have violet eyes, though, does he? And Nara, it's been a while. Oh, yeah, it has been. I mean, yes, sir. Suramatsu laughs. It's gonna take me a while to get his name down. No need to be nervous around this old man. Though you've grown up so pretty that I bet you make all the boys nervous wrecks. I try to laugh away the awkwardness. That is awkward. I don't really know about that. I look away at Takumi, who looks pretty embarrassed. Dad. So what's so crucial you couldn't say it over the phone? Takumi grows serious and looks around before speaking in a low voice. It's about Yasu. Suramatsu instantly turns serious at the very mention of his other son. I found my first solid lead in 3 years. I don't want to say much about specifics yet, but I need access to Yasu's restricted case files. You know I can't give you that. Even though you've been promoted? He nods. Even still, his case is locked down. I've looked and I couldn't find his most recent reports anywhere in the archives. There are other cases that no one is permitted to look through, too. Suramatsu lowers his voice. I have an idea of where they're being kept, but there's 24/7 security there, which only makes things look more suspicious. Suramatsu nods, then pulls out a piece of paper from his briefcase. He begins to draw something I quickly realize is a map. As soon as he stops drawing, Suramatsu pushes the paper toward us. Suramatsu. I'm never going to get that down. He taps a room marked Archives with a pen. This is the ordinary archives room, but there's a door inside that will take you to a service hallway. Suramatsu follows the line with his pen and drags it into a room marked ? According to the building's blueprints I obtained, one of the doors should be just a janitor's closet. But there's a security guard guarding it at all times. He looks at me and Taku seriously. I don't think it's an ordinary guard either. I believe it's a vampire. Vampire. A cold chill runs down my spine at hearing that word again. My mind instantly goes to the vampires we've already encountered and fought. Won't we be in danger against them? Again then? I just said against them. Again then? Whatever reaction I expect from Taku, I'm not sure. But he only grins and pounds his fist into his hand. This is almost proof that everything's connected. We've got to take this lead. Thanks, Dad. Before anyone can say anything further, Mrs. Yukimura appears out of nowhere. She sets down a pot of tea along with a bowl of soup and a pastry she sets in front of Suramatsu. Long time no see. Oh, that's her. I got really confused for a second. Long time no see, Suramatsu. He nods and picks up the pastry, taking a bite out of it. Thanks, Chisaki. They've been keeping me busy down at the SSU. Suramatsu chuckles. I can see why the pay raise was so high. Mrs. Yukimura, or Chisaki as I just learned, and Suramatsu begin to chit-chat about daily life while Takumi studies the map. Takumi looks at it with such seriousness and intensity that I can't keep my eyes off of him. I don't want to. It feels so strange to even think it, but seeing him like this, despite myself, I can't help but find it attractive. Chisaki brings our food, and Takumi eats while still staring at the map. Eventually, we finish eating. After Chisaki leaves, Taku gets up and I quickly follow suit. Thanks for everything, Dad, but we have to get going now. Suramatsu looks up at his son, and for a moment he doesn't say anything. You know your mother doesn't want you doing this at all, but I know I can't stop you. So just be careful. Protect Inara. Yeah, I will. Sir, I won't just be protected. I'll help Takumi too. I'll protect him the best I can. He looks at me in surprise. Then surprise quickly turns into a smile. I don't know the full story, but I didn't think my son would burden himself with someone he didn't believe in. So I trust you. Take good care of each other. Takumi and I both nod, and after saying our farewells, we leave the Blue Sky Cafe. Come on, he's known you since you were a kid. He'd probably like, yeah, you always wear a ball buster. We arrive back at Aurelia's place to discuss our next move without the chance of being overheard. As soon as we get through the door, Takumi goes and starts pulling things from random cabinets and drawers. So, what are we gonna do? What? Are we... Oh, okay. I'm just, it's not that I can't read. It's the fact that, I was expecting there to be a missing word there. I kind of read it wrong in my head and was thinking there was a missing word, so it kind of just tripped me up as I was trying to, figure out what was wrong with it, but there's nothing wrong with it except for me anticipating that there was. I don't know, anyway. So what? Are we going tonight, then? We're really going to break into a police station. Yep. Taku pulls a vial out of one of Aurelia's cabinets, along with some strangely colored liquids and powders. Aren't you worried about getting caught at all? This is the police. Yep. Taku starts mixing everything together. Yep to what? To both? What are you even doing? Preparations, and yep to both. Taku stops and looks me in the eye. Like I mentioned before, I'm always worried about getting caught or getting hurt, but other than suffering and death, life doesn't have any guarantees. So if you have things you need to do in order to achieve your goals, you gotta suck it up and do them anyway. I don't know at all what to say to that. What can I say? When did he become so dark? Ignoring my speechless state, Takumi continues and pulls out a syringe. He uses it to pull the liquid mixture into it and then shoots it directly into his wrist. What the hell is that? What are you doing? I told you, preparing. It's medicinal, sort of. Anyway, why aren't you doing the same? Get in your gear, study, practice, whatever. We don't have time to waste. Rebuffed by his words, I numbly turn around and head for the guest room. I'm not at all certain what to think, so I resign myself to reading up on some books. I just pray that Taku knows what he's doing, that all this crap is worth it in the end. Fight or flight. I like how they did that. That's beautiful. Anyway, I'm going to end this part here, obviously, and when we come back in the next part, we'll see what happens. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.